Goeiemôre graad 11. Kom ons gaan kyk na vrae by funksies wat gaan oor die aard van wortels. Let's go and look at questions on functions regarding the nature of roots. The first thing that's very important that you must realize, what's the meaning of roots? Wat beteken wortels? Nou dis baie eenvoudig. Ek verduidelik dit altyd so. Ek sien die horisontaal as die aarde en hier waar die funksie deur die aarde druk, daar is die wortels. So I see the horizontal, the x-axis, as the earth, and there where the function goes through the earth, that's where the roots is. So in this case, we've got two roots. Can you see there? X equals 1 and x equals 3. Dit is wat wortels is. Let's answer a few questions regarding this parabola and the nature of roots. Die eerste vraag is, hoeveel wortels het fx? Hoeveel wortels het fx is gelyk aan 0? Fx is gelyk aan 0 when fx equals 0, it means y is 0. So how many roots will there be? When y is 0, there's two roots. 1, 2. X equals 1 and x equals 3. Indien fx plus p is gelyk aan 0, een negatiewe wortel het en een positiewe wortel, bepaal die waardes van p. If fx plus p equals 0, but one positive root and one negative root determine the value of p. Wat beteken fx plus p soos hy hier staan? Dit beteken, vat die fx en skuif hom links of regs. Ons weet ons binne in die x-hakkie skuif ons links of regs. So I want to know, how many units must you shift it left or right to have one positive root and one negative root? Now, okay. I've tried to build you a model where you can put it on this function and you can move it to the left or to the right. Kom ons kyk nou hierso. Goed, kyk mooi, graad 11. Ek gaan nou hierdie funksie skuif. If I move it more to the right, it's going to have two positive roots all the time. Nee, hy beweeg op die positiewe x af, so hy gaan net bly 2x afsnitte hê. Okay, maar kyk nou. If I move it to the left, that's a minus movement, agree? I can move it up to there. Then it goes through 0. Sien julle? Hy gaan, as ek hom een eenheid na links skuif, dan gaan hy deur 0 en dan gaan hy daar deur 2. Agree? Maar 0 tel ook as 'n positiewe wortel. So die oomblik wat ek hom nou verder skuif, see what happens. Now it's got one negative root and one positive root, and that's what I want. So as ek hom meer as een eenheid links skuif, dan het hy een negatief en een positief. And then I can shift it, it's one negative, one positive, one negative, one positive, until this bar that was there is now getting at 0. Dan het ek een positief en een negatief, but the sooner it gets more to the left, then I've got two negatives. So ek kan nou weet, wat moet my p-waarde wees? So my p-waarde moet wees 1 unit to the left, between 1 unit to the left, up to, it moves from 3 up to 0, up to 3 units to the left. So what's the answer for p? To have one positive and one negative root, p must be between 1 and, that's a plus, so it's already an indication of moving to the left. So it must be plus 1, up to plus 3. Okay, let's look at it again. As hy een eenheid beweeg, dan is hy op 0 en 2. If it moves more than 1 unit, 1 negative, 1 positive. 1 negative, 1 positive. No, 1 negative, 1 positive. If it moves 3 units to the left, then this leg is on 0, so it counts as a positive. So hy moet tussen 1, as hy meer as 3 beweeg, then both is negative. Okay, that's not so difficult. Okay, next question. For what values of k if fx equals k? For what values of k if fx equal k will there be 2 real roots? Vir watter waardes van k, as fx is gelyk aan k is, sal daar 2 reële wortels wees. 2 reële wortels beteken, waar gaan my grafiek 2x afsnit hê? When there's the k that I ask is equal to fx. Met ander woorde, hy staan aan hierdie kant van die is gelyk aan. Hy's gelyk, dus daar staan k is gelyk aan jou funksie. Fx equals k. Then you always take your ruler. Ek het nou met hierdie vraag, het ek hierdie ou gebruik. Okay, nou, wanneer k gelyk is aan fx, dan gebruik ek my lineaal. And now I'm going to take my ruler horizontal and I'm going to start from the negative side on the y-axis. Want k moes nou in y se plek. So I'm going upwards with my ruler until I start cutting my function. Kan julle sien dat ek nou, as my lineaal daar is, waar my y-waarde gelyk is aan -1, dan raak my funksie, my lineaal, op 1 plek. So there's 1 root. When I go upwards, can you see that my ruler is being touched by my function twice? Twice, 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 twice. Okay? It will go on until forever. Here, no cutting of the ruler. Cuts only once. Twice, twice, twice until infinity. So what's the values of k? For this function to have 2 real roots, k must be greater than -1. If it's equal to -1, it got 1 root. If it's smaller than -1, it got no roots. Goed, baie maklik. Next question. Vir watter waardes van p sal x kwadraat minus 4x plus 3. Vir watter waarde van p sal x kwadraat minus 4x plus 3 gelyke wortels hê? For which values of p will x square minus 4x plus 3 have equal roots? Nou, gelyke wortels is altyd op my draaipunt. Met ander woorde, if you put your ruler, remember again, p is in the place of y now. It's in the place of fx. Kan jy sien, hy's op dieselfde plek as k. Eintlik is daai en daai nou dieselfde vraag. Because the fx is also x square minus 4x plus 3, but now instead of k, it's now p. Okay. So now gaan ek dieselfde ding doen. No roots. At the turning point, there's only 1 root, but it's actually 2 roots that's equal. Okay. So only at the turning point, there's 2 equal roots, because if the ruler touches only once, so it will be something like x minus 1, x minus 1. Agree? Okay, so what will the value of p be? It's in the place of y, so p will be minus 1. P equals minus 1. 2 roots, that's the same. It's at the turning point. No roots, 2 identical roots, or 1. 2 different roots, 2 different roots. Okay. The last question is where the variable is not in the place of y like this and this. It's like this. x kwadraat minus 4x, en nou sit ons 'n plus t by, en ons maak hom gelyk aan 0. And you see the difference? Now, you're not going to use your ruler, because that and that's the same. It's in place of fx or y. But now, the variable t is now in the place of your constant. It's not in the place of y. Jou t is nie in die plek van y nie, hy is nou hier in die plek van hy is binne in jou vergelyking in. When that happens, you again use your model. Hulle vra, the question is, for which values of t will there be no real roots? Vir watter waardes van t sal daar geen reële wortels wees nie. Nou, wanneer ons 'n kwadratiese uitdrukking het, is hierdie altyd my y-afsnit. Stem julle saam? That's my y-intercept. Look at that. My y-intercept. So t is now into the place of my y-intercept. Sien julle, daar's hy. T is nou in hierdie funksie 3. Okay, so they ask, where will there be no real roots? Nou, wanneer ek hierdie model van my nou afskuif, stem julle saam dat daar altyd 2 wortels sal wees. There will always be 2 roots because it's going on forever. But when I move this upwards, when I get there, okay, hoe ver het ek hom nou opgeskuif? My y-waarde is minus 1, so ek het hom 1 eenheid opgeskuif. Stem julle saam? I moved it from minus 1 unit upwards, and then it touches the x-axis. Okay. Wanneer hy daar raak, het ek 2 identiese wortels. When the turning point is on the x-axis, there's 2 identical roots. En dan, wanneer ek hom net lig, laat hy nie die x-as raak nie. If I just move it upwards, if it doesn't touch the x-axis, then there's no roots at all. And that's now what they ask. They ask, what must the value of t be to have no real roots? Nou goed, onthou, t is die y-afsnit. Die y-afsnit is nou hier 3. Nou skuif ek hom 1 eenheid op, so wat is die y-afsnit nou daar? 4. When the y-intercept, that's the t value, is going to be 4, I'm going to have 2 identical roots. When I move it just a little bit up and more, there will be no real roots. So t must be greater than 4. 4 moet groter wees, of t moet groter wees as 4. T is now 3 units. Can you see? 3, there's t, it's now 3 units. I move it upwards 1 unit, then it touches my x-axis. There, 2 equal roots. When I move it now, my y-intercept equals 4. When I move it up more, there's no roots anymore. Dan raak hy nie meer my x-as nie. So, wat moet my t-waarde wees? Hy moet groter wees as 4, then there will be no real roots. Sometimes this is difficult for you guys to understand, grade 11s, maar as jy doen wat juffrou sê, dan is dit regtig maklik. So wat sê juffrou vir jou? Wanneer hulle vragies soos hierdie vraag, skuif hom links of regs of op of af, then you use your model. When they ask a question like this and the variable is in the place of y, of fx, dan gebruik jy jou liniaal. As jou veranderlike binne in jou vergelyking se y-afsnit is, like that one, then again you use your model. Kom ons gaan oefen dit goed. As jy dit kry en jy doen dit soos juffrou vir jou geleer het, dan sal jy dit altyd reg hê. See you again later for the next class.